All right, so get this. We're diving deep into industrial robot controllers today.
Oh, cool.
And you know what's really awesome? You guys send in some incredible guides and resources. Looks like you're not just interested in what this job is, but like how to actually snag one.
Yeah, and maybe even totally rock it.
Exactly. We've got excerpts from a career guide, an interview guide, even some stuff about this platform called RoleCatcher.
Wow.
So let's break it all down, see what we uncover.
Sounds good. It's definitely a career path that's getting a lot of attention these days, especially with all this automation happening in manufacturing.
I bet. But you know what? I always kind of wondered, what's a typical day really like for an industrial robot controller? Is it all like high-tech troubleshooting or what?
Well, the career guide we have here, it actually goes into that.
Oh,
The core responsibilities, they all kind of revolve around operating and monitoring these industrial robots, in manufacturing environments. Think like massive factories, bustling production lines. Robots are doing the heavy lifting, welding, assembling all those products.
okay. So basically making sure those robots are doing their jobs and not, starting a robot uprising.
Exactly, haha.
Oh, good.
But it's way more nuanced than just pushing buttons.
Right.
They also gotta maintain and repair these super complex machines, diagnose problems like when things go wrong,
Oh,
and even assess those potential risks just to make sure everything's running super smoothly.
interesting. Because the guide, it also mentions critical thinking as a key skill.
Right.
I wouldn't have, like, immediately connected that with a robot job.
Oh, it's essential. Absolutely essential. Think about it. If a robot malfunctions on, like, a production line, you can't just flip a switch and hope for the best.
Yeah, sure.
You gotta, like, quickly analyze the situation, understand the technical manuals, figure out what went wrong,
Oh, wow.
all while, maybe the entire production line is just, like, stopped.
Well, that's a lot of pressure.
Oh.
No wonder the guide, like, mentions potential for high levels of stress.
Right, but the guide also highlights some pretty awesome perks.
Okay, yeah.
There's a high demand for skilled industrial robot controllers,
That makes sense.
which means good salary potential, right? Excellent job security.
Oh, okay.
Plus, with technology always like evolving,
Right.
there are always opportunities for advancement.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You definitely need to be a lifelong learner in this field, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The industry is always like pushing the limits of what's possible.
Right.
So continuous learning, it's vital for anyone who wants to, stay at the top.
Stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this job sounds pretty awesome.
hmm
But what does it actually take to, like, excel as an industrial robot controller? Like, let's look at the skills.
Yeah, well, the guide, it lists a bunch of technical skills, but also some unexpected ones too.
Oh, really? Like what?
Reading comprehension, for example. You got to be able to understand like really complex technical manuals
Right.
and then translate that information into like action.
So you're telling me that strong reading skills are just as important as, like, knowing how to program a robot.
Exactly. And then there's active listening. You'll be working with engineers, technicians, other team members. So clear communication is crucial.
I hadn't thought about that, but that makes total sense. Even robots need a team player.
Yeah.
But let's rewind a bit. How does someone even get started on this whole career path? What kind of education do you even need?
Well, the guide, it outlines a few academic routes, like degrees in electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, or robotics.
Okay.
But there's also mechatronics.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah.
And I see mechatronics is listed. That's like a cool mix of mechanical, electrical, AD, computer engineering.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect for someone who wants to, like, understand robots inside and out.
Exactly. It gives you a really well-rounded base for, a career in robotics.
Okay, so those are like the classic academic paths. But I also noticed the guide mentioned things like internships, co-op programs, even building your own robots.
Mm-hmm.
Does that stuff really matter?
Absolutely. Practical experience is like super valuable.
Yeah.
It shows employers that you've got a real passion for robotics.
Yeah.
You're willing to go like beyond the classroom to learn and apply your skills.
Right, right.
Getting your hands dirty in a real factory setting, that's where the real learning happens.
Totally. Imagine walking into an interview and saying, oh yeah, I built a robot that can make toast and DEN solve a Rubik's Cube.
Uh-huh. That'd be cool.
Right. Imagine, like, never folding laundry again.
Well, maybe start with something a little simpler. Haha.
Yeah, true, true.
But the point is, like, demonstrate your passion, your skills, your willingness to learn.
Okay.
And that's where a tool like RoleCatcher might come in handy.
RoleCatcher, that's the platform you mentioned earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, how does that fit into all of this?
From what I've gathered, it seems like a really useful resource for anyone who's like seriously considering this career. It helps you tailor your resume,
Go ahead.
get noticed by those employers, even prepare for interviews.
Interesting. So it sounds like it streamlines the whole job search process and like gives you an edge in what I'm guessing is a pretty competitive market.
Exactly. And it helps your resume, speak the language of, well,
Yeah.
robots.
Wait, back up. Robots.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me algorithms are like deciding who gets a job now?
In a way, yeah.
Whoa.
Many companies are now using these AI-powered systems.
Oh, wow.
They're often called like AI recruiters to scan resumes and kind of filter those candidates.
Okay.
So having a resume that's optimized for those systems, it's a huge advantage.
Wow, that's intense. So RoleCatcher helps you get past those robot gatekeepers and into the hands of like actual humans.
Precisely. It helps you present your skills and experience in a way that's both, human readable and machine readable, which like significantly boosts your chances of getting noticed.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But even with all this talk about AI and robots, I'm guessing the human element is still like super crucial, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about like gaming the system. It's about showing your passion, your skills, and your commitment to, this whole field.
Absolutely. While tools like RoleCatcher can be incredibly helpful, it's ultimately your knowledge, experience, and that genuine enthusiasm that's going to land you the job.
So it sounds like even in the age of robots and AI, it's still those human qualities that really matter. All right, let's get into some of the specific challenges and rewards that come with this role.
Yeah.
What does the career guide highlight?
Well, it definitely paints a very realistic picture of the work environment.
Okay.
Industrial robot controllers, they typically work in manufacturing plants and factories.
Right.
It can be noisy, potentially hazardous,
Yeah.
often requires standing for long periods.
Oh, yeah. I once toured a factory, and the noise was unbelievable. It was like being inside a giant washing machine.
Yeah.
So maybe not the most glamorous setting. But on the flip side, you're surrounded by cutting-edge tech all day. I can see the appeal.
Oh, definitely. The guide really emphasizes that this isn't a desk job.
Right, right.
You got to be comfortable in a hands-on, fast-paced, and, dynamic environment.
Okay. So it seems like the ideal candidate is someone who thrives on challenge and isn't afraid to, like, get their hands dirty.
Exactly.
But let's talk about those interview questions. The interview guide you provided, it's packed with them.
Oh, yeah.
And some are pretty insightful.
Absolutely. The questions are really designed to gauge not only your technical knowledge, but also your problem-solving skills and your overall approach to the work.
Like that one about ensuring worker safety when operating robots.
Right.
That's a big deal. It's not just about making the robots work. It's about making sure everyone around them is safe, too, right?
Absolutely.
I'd imagine that's a top priority for employers.
You're absolutely right. That question really shows that employers are looking for someone who is responsible, safety conscious, and understands, the potential risks that come with working with industrial robots. They want someone who prioritizes the well-being of their team.
So you need technical skills, problem-solving abilities, and a strong safety mindset. This is starting to sound like a superhero job description.
Maybe not a superhero.
Not heard of.
But definitely a highly skilled professional. And speaking of skills, let's not forget those soft skills the career guide mentions. Communication, teamwork, active listening, these are all essential in this role.
Because even robots need a team player.
Think about it. You'll be working with engineers, technicians, managers, all sorts of people.
Right.
Clear communication and collaboration, they're crucial to keep those production lines, humming.
Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. Technical skills are obviously important, but so are those like human skills. It's like a perfect blend of the two.
Right.
But I'm curious, how do those soft skills actually play out in a like real world scenario?
Okay, let's say there's a problem with a robot on the assembly line.
Okay.
You need to be able to communicate effectively with the maintenance team to explain the issue, understand their perspective, and work together to find a solution.
Right.
And you got to do all that quickly and safely.
So being able to explain like complex technical stuff in a way that everyone understands is key. No robot jargon allowed.
Right. And don't forget about those managers. You need to keep them informed about the situation, the potential impact on production, and the steps you're taking to resolve it.
Okay, that makes sense. You're not just working with robots. You're working within like this whole ecosystem of people and processes.
Right.
It's like being a conductor, making sure everything's in sync.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about career advancement. The career guide touches on this, mentions opportunities to, move up the ladder. What are some typical paths for industrial robot controllers?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. Once you've like mastered the basics, where can you go from there?
Well, with experience, you could become a lead robot technician, overseeing a team of controllers.
Oh.
Or you could specialize in a specific area, like robot programming or systems integration.
So you can become the go-to expert for a particular type of robot or like application.
Exactly. And as you gain more experience and expertise, you could even move into management roles, overseeing entire robotics departments or projects.
That's pretty cool. It sounds like there's a lot of room for growth and specialization in this field, but I imagine that staying up to date with the latest technology is crucial for anyone who wants to, move up.
Absolutely. The field is constantly evolving, so continuous learning, it's non-negotiable.
Right.
Attending industry conferences, taking online courses, participating in workshops, it's all about expanding your knowledge and skill set.
Like you have to be a perpetual student, always eager to learn the next big thing in robotics.
Exactly. And that brings us back to something we touched on earlier, those resources and tools that can help you on your journey.
Okay.
Remember RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah, the resume-boosting robot wrangling platform.
Ha ha ha! We talked about how it can help you get noticed by employers, but I'm curious, what else can it do?
Well, it also offers features that help you prepare for interviews, such as practice questions and tips for tailoring your responses to specific companies and roles.
So it's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket. That's pretty handy.
It can be incredibly helpful, especially for those who might feel, nervous or unsure about the whole interview process.
Oh yeah, I remember being terrified before my first job interview. I practiced my answers in the mirror for hours.
We've all been there. And that's where a tool like RoleCatcher can really make a difference. It can help you feel more confident and prepared, which can definitely give you an edge. Okay, so we've talked about the job itself, the skills needed, the career paths, and even some tools to help you navigate the job search. But let's zoom out for a second and look at like the bigger picture.
Okay.
What are some of the broader trends shaping the field of industrial robotics?
Well, one of the most significant trends is the increasing use of collaborative robots, or cobots.
Cobots.
Yeah.
So robots that are like more teammates than just machines.
Exactly. Cobots are changing the way we think about automation in manufacturing.
Right.
They can handle those repetitive or dangerous tasks, freeing up human workers to focus on more complex and creative aspects of the job.
That's fascinating. So it's not necessarily about robots like replacing humans, but rather robots and humans working together more effectively.
Right.
I like that.
It's a shift in perspective, for sure. And another major trend is the rise of artificial intelligence and machine learning in robotics.
AI and robots. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
What does that look like in practice?
Well, imagine robots that can learn from their experiences, adapt to changing environments, and even solve problems without human intervention.
Okay, that's officially mind-blowing. So it's not just about programming robots to perform specific tasks anymore.
Right.
It's about giving them the ability to think for themselves.
In a way, yes.
Wow.
AI is enabling robots to become more autonomous, more adaptable, and more capable than ever before.
That's both exciting and a little bit intimidating, if I'm being honest. But it sounds like the future of industrial robotics is going to be full of incredible advancements.
Absolutely. And with those advancements come, new challenges and opportunities for industrial robot controllers.
Right.
They'll need to constantly adapt their skills, embrace new technologies, and really push the boundaries of what's possible.
It sounds like this career path is not for the faint of heart.
Uh-huh.
But for those who are passionate about technology, eager to learn, and excited about, the future of robotics, it could be an incredibly rewarding journey.
I couldn't agree more. It's a field with immense potential. And those who choose this path have the opportunity to shape the future of manufacturing and really beyond.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've explored the day-to-day realities of the job, the skills needed, the career paths, and even the broader trends shaping the field.
Right.
But I think it's time to shift our focus to something equally important, the interview process.
Yes, the interview is where you get to showcase your passion, your skills, your personality to those potential employers. It's your chance to really shine.
And the interview guide you provided, it offers some great insights into what employers are looking for. Let's dive into some of those sample questions and see if we can uncover like any hidden meanings or subtle clues.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to decode the interview puzzle.
All right, let's start with a question that seems pretty straightforward.
Right.
Tell me about your experience with industrial robots. What's the best way to approach this one?
It might seem simple, but it's a chance to really demonstrate your passion and your knowledge. Don't just list your past jobs or projects.
Good.
Instead, tell a story.
A story. About a robot.
Exactly. Share an anecdote about a time you solved a challenging problem, overcame an obstacle, or learned something valuable about robotics. Make it engaging, make it memorable.
So instead of saying, I worked on a project involving a robotic arm,
Right.
I could say something like, I once spent all night troubleshooting a robotic arm that was refusing to cooperate.
Yeah.
It felt like this battle of wits, but in the end, I figured out the problem and got the arm back online just in time for the morning shift.
Exactly. That's much more engaging, and it reveals your problem-solving skills, and your dedication.
Okay, I like that approach. But let's move on to a question that might be a little trickier. How do you stay up to date with the latest advancements in robotics?
This one is all about showcasing your commitment to, continuous learning. Highlight the specific resources you use.
Right.
Industry publications, online forums, conferences, even podcasts like this one.
Hey, that's a great idea. Maybe I should add listening to the deep dive to my resume.
I wouldn't object to that. But seriously, this question is an opportunity to demonstrate your genuine interest in the field and your willingness to, go the extra mile to stay ahead of the curve.
So it's not enough to just say, I read stuff online.
Right.
You need to be specific and show that you're like actively seeking out new knowledge and insights.
Right. And don't be afraid to mention any personal projects or hobbies related to robotics. It all adds to that picture of you as a, passionate and dedicated learner.
Okay, I'm starting to see how each question is an opportunity to paint a picture of yourself as like the ideal candidate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a strategic storytelling exercise.
Exactly. Now let's tackle a question that might seem a bit more philosophical. Where do you see the future of industrial robotics heading?
Okay.
What are they really looking for with this one?
I'm curious about that too. It's not like we have a crystal ball to like predict the future of robots.
Yeah. True. But this question is less about making, accurate predictions and more about demonstrating your understanding of those broader trends and your ability to think critically about the future of the field.
So I should talk about those cobots we discussed earlier, the rise of AI
Yeah.
and like the potential for even more advanced automation.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to share your own thoughts and opinions. Employers want to see that you're engaged with the bigger picture and that you're thinking critically about the implications of, these advancements.
Okay, so I need to strike a balance between demonstrating knowledge of the current trends and showing that I'm not afraid to think outside the box and like envision new possibilities. It's like a mental juggling act.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears to a question that often trips people up. Tell me about a time you failed. Why would they even ask that?
It seems like a recipe for disaster. Why would I want to talk about my failures in an interview?
It might feel counterintuitive, but this question is actually a great opportunity to show your self-awareness, your resilience, and your ability to learn from your mistakes.
So they're not looking for perfection. They're looking for someone who can like bounce back from setbacks and grow from their experiences.
Precisely. Choose a specific example where you faced a challenge, made a mistake, but learned valuable lessons from that experience. Focus on those positive takeaways and how you applied those lessons to future projects.
Okay, so it's not about dwelling on the failure itself, but rather showcasing your growth and resilience.
Exactly. Now, let's move on to a question that often throws people off. What are your salary expectations?
Ugh, this is always the awkward part. How do you even answer that without sounding like greedy or, undervaluing yourself?
It's definitely a delicate dance, but remember, it's a two-way street. You're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you.
That's a good point. It's about finding a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Right. Do your research beforehand to understand the typical salary range for this role in your area. Consider your own experience, skills, and qualifications. And most importantly, be confident in your worth.
Okay, so I need to find that sweet spot between being realistic and knowing my value. No more salary shame.
Exactly. Now let's wrap things up with a question that's often asked at the end of an interview. Do you have any questions for us?
This is where I usually draw a blank. I'm so focused on answering their questions that I forget to, ask my own.
Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Asking thoughtful questions shows that you're curious, engaged, and genuinely interested in the role and the company.
Okay, so what kind of questions should I ask?
Ask about the company's culture, the team you'd be working with, the opportunities for growth and development. You could also ask about specific projects or challenges the team is facing.
So it's about gathering information that will help me decide if this is, like, the right fit for me.
Exactly. The interview is a two-way street, remember? It's a chance for you to learn as much about them as they learn about you.
Okay, I'm starting to see the interview process in a whole new light. It's not just about answering questions, it's about telling your story, showcasing your skills, and finding the right fit.
Exactly. And remember, the more you prepare, the more confident you'll feel. So study those sample questions, practice your answers, and go in there ready to shine.
Okay, I'm feeling pumped. But let's not forget the reason we're diving into all of this. It's not just about, like, landing a job. It's about embarking on a fulfilling and meaningful career in a field that's constantly evolving and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. And for those who are passionate about technology, eager to learn, and excited about the future of robotics, the career of industrial robot controller offers a world of possibilities.
It's like stepping into a sci-fi movie, but it's real life. And who knows? Maybe someday you'll be the one designing those incredible robots that are, like, changing the world.
Now that's something to aspire to. But for now, let's focus on helping our listener take the first step on their journey.
Okay, let's recap some key takeaways for anyone who's, like, seriously considering this career path.
First and foremost, embrace the challenge of continuous learning.
Okay.
The field of robotics is constantly evolving, so staying up to date with the latest advancements it's crucial.
Right. It's all about being a lifelong learner, a tech enthusiast, a robot whisperer.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of practical experience.
Okay.
Seek out internships, co-op programs, or even personal projects to build your skills and showcase your passion.
You get those hands dirty, build some cool robots, and show those employers what you're capable of.
And when it comes to the interview, remember that it's a two-way street.
Right.
Prepare thoughtful questions, showcase your personality, and be confident in your worth.
It's not just about answering questions, it's about telling your story, demonstrating your passion, and finding the right fit.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to leverage resources like RoleCatcher to, give you an edge in the job search process.
It's like having a secret weapon in your arsenal. But remember, it's ultimately your skills, your knowledge, and your enthusiasm that will land you the job.
Now, before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with a final thought. As we've, gone through this career path, we've talked a lot about the technical skills, the problem solving, staying updated and all that.
Right.
But there's another thing.
Oh.
I think it's, like, really crucial.
Okay.
And that's being able to think ethically about, all the implications of robotics and automation.
That's a great point. It's not just about building and controlling robots. It's about understanding the broader impact they have on society as a whole.
Exactly. As industrial robot controllers, you're going to be right at the forefront of this whole technological revolution.
Right.
And with that comes a responsibility to think about the ethical side of your work.
So it's not just about making sure the robots work right. It's also about thinking about how they might affect, like jobs.
Yeah.
Safety, even like how we interact with the world around us.
Precisely. It's about asking those tough questions.
Yeah.
How can we be sure that robots are actually used to benefit society, as a whole?
Right.
How can we prevent, unintended consequences?
Oh, yeah. That's important.
How can we create a future where humans and robots, coexist peacefully and stuff?
That's a lot to think about. It's like we're not just building robots, we're like shaping the future.
Right. And with that responsibility, it's such a cool opportunity
Oh, yeah.
to really make a positive impact.
Yeah.
Industrial robot controllers, they can create a world where robots actually make our lives better, right? Improve our work and even help us solve some of the world's biggest problems.
Wow. That's an inspiring thought. So it's not just a technical job. It's like a chance to be part of something way bigger, something that could actually make a real difference.
Exactly. And for those who are, drawn to this path, I really encourage you, embrace that responsibility. Use your skills and knowledge to, create a better future for everybody.
Well said. I think we've covered pretty much everything there is to know about industrial robot controllers.
I think so.
We explored like every little detail of this whole dynamic and evolving field.
Definitely.
From the everyday stuff to, the future possibilities we talked about, skills, the education you can get, even how to like totally ace that interview.
That's key.
We even dug up some pretty valuable resources like RoleCatcher to help you, with the whole job search. And probably most importantly, we talked about, all the ethical stuff that comes with working in this kind of field.
It's important.
Because it's not just about, building and controlling robots. It's about understanding how they affect everyone and using our skills to build a better future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So for all of you out there who are like fascinated by robots, intrigued by automation and just eager to be at the forefront of this whole technological like revolution, a career as an industrial robot controller might just be your thing.
It's definitely demanding, but it's rewarding. It's full of challenges, but full of opportunities. And with the right skills, the right knowledge, and a commitment to like ethical innovation, you can really become a driving force in this whole robotic future that's, waiting for us.
Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep those robot dreams alive.
This has been The Deep Dive. Signing off to our next adventure.